Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rolo, aka dunksrnice. Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new, welcome. I appreciate you. Consider subscribing and liking if you haven't. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing, talking, comparing probably one of the most anticipated Air Jordan releases as of 2022. And in my opinion, this could be either your top 5 or top 3, but it is none other than the 2022 Air Jordan 1 Chicago's, aka, let me pull them out the box real quick, the lost and found. You see them right here. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Now, before we get into the sneakers in general, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Marvin. He's already done this video, so if you guys want to go in more in a depth into the sneakers in general, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Marv. I'll put his link down below in the description. You guys can go and check that out. What up, my guy? As well as ijapino. If you guys haven't followed him on Instagram, that's the homie, and he did pretty much every Air Jordan 1 Chicago's, so you guys can go and check that out. I'll put that link down below in the description as well. But here they are. So I got none other than the 1985 with the original box right here. I got one of my favorite boxes, the 94-95 classic Air Jordan box, one right here. Then we got the Wings logo, the black and the red, this box right here. This is the 2023 version. Then we got the most common one that you usually see nowadays, the black and red with the Nike as well, the 2015 Chicago's, followed by this year's the 2022 Lost and Found, aka again the Chicago's, this one right here. Now, before we jump into the sneakers itself with the original pair and the retro 2022 pair, I did want to do a little quick side-by-side comparison. The original pair again has a all black with the red Nike that you do see here. My box unfortunately doesn't have that tag, but I think there was like a sale little sticker stamp right over here. But besides that, this is the original box from 85. And then looking at the 2022 pair, obviously the lid is a different color. And then, you know, the packaging overall with this retro, the 2022 one, I simply love it. I'm a sucker for packages that are just kind of like this with a great story to tell. You guys already know the story about these with the tissue paper, the box and all that, so I'm not going to go into so much of that, but just in general, I do love the packaging that the 2022 did have. I think the best way how I can go about this is because I'm comparing 4 different versions throughout the years, is I'm going to go ahead and just compare it side by side in a review in my own of the 2022 Lost and Found Chicago's. We'll go by the 85, which I have right here in my right hand, and we'll make our way up to the 94-95 again. I know there's that big debate with the 94-95 pair. Whatever you want to go in and label it as, you guys can go ahead and do that. Then we got the 2023, then the 2015. But yeah, let's jump right into the original pair. This is the 1985 Chicago's. Now, I think the one big thing that for me, if I'm really just nitpicking on the 2022 pair, is that it didn't have the stamp on the sock liner like all the original Air Jordan ones are, you know, that they have. That's something that I wish that the 2022 version would have. But besides that, there's nothing much that I can say about this shoe. The one thing also that I did want to take away from the 85 pair is that, of course, the leather isn't as thick on the 2022 pair compared to the original pair. And then another thing that I did want to point out is the swoosh itself, and they are almost as identical in terms of the size of the swoosh. Now, I know the original pair is more of a different material. It's more of a smooth, thinner finish compared to the 2022 pair. And obviously the white leather on the uppers is just different. You know, they went with the story with the 2022. I'm not going to jump so much about that story in general. I think you guys already know about that, along with the history with the lid box, the packaging. Besides the leather, this is a height comparison with the 2022 along with the OG pair. There is a slight difference in terms of the height. It's almost identical. Again, if you're going side by side, you can see here with the sole, the midsole, everything that lines up, it's pretty much almost there. Again, it's never going to be as close as the original. I already came to that term, but you guys see it here. And then again, a side-by-side comparison with the sock liner material. And then you get to the toe box with the perforated leather. You can see here it's a big difference as well. Now, what's very interesting is that the tongue on the 2022 pair is more of that age new look, you know, a little peachy pinkish tan. And then, but my 85 pair is still white, but you guys can kind of see it here along with the Nike Air tag. They kept it with the, again, the same color with that red background and then the white stitched. And as well, the Air Jordan logo, you guys can see here on the 2022, it's embossed. And on the original pair, it looks like it's kind of basically painted on, but still has that embossed on it. But you can see here side by side. The padding on the retro, the 2022, there's a little bit more padding compared to the original pair. And on the collars on the black part, you see here where it's kind of chipped up on the original pair. They didn't do that so much on the retro. They went for that like distressed leather version on it, but you know, it is what it is. But besides that, looking at the original pair alongside with the 2022 pair, now I could nitpick, I could complain about all the small things in the world. I know it's not going to come as close to it as the original pair, but just looking at the 2022 Lost and Found Chicago's, it's as just, you know, real good already how it is. Again, it's just all the small things that I can complain and say, but besides that, the 2022 pair is pretty good. Again, the only thing that I really wish that the 2022 pair would have is just the size tag on the sock liner, but besides that, again, there's nothing too much to really complain about. Moving right along, we have the 94 or 95 Chicago ones. Just for this video purposes, I'm just gonna label them as 94 or 1994 alongside by the 2022 Lost and Found Chicago's. Now, the 94 box, and in my opinion, is one of my favorite boxes. Now, the Union's ones had something very similar, but this one, this box here is simply, I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's a really cool design that they had on the box. You have the Jordan 1 through 9 here on the upper part with the Jordan logo and many photos of MJ himself. And this was simply their retro card that they did back in the day, a super jumbo card just like this. And on one end, you had the image itself just like the top of the lid of the box. And on the back was what shoe you had. So if it was the ones, you had the ones or the twos or the threes. And then the tissue paper was really cool because it had quotes with Michael Jordan and achievements and accolades and, you know, milestones that Michael Jordan had. And I really love packaging just like this. So props to Jordan Brand for doing something like this with the 2022 Lost and Found ones. I really appreciated that. Now, looking at the 94 Jordan 1s, obviously the Air Jordan logo is a bit smaller. The leather on the uppers, on the black part, on the sock liner side area is obviously a smooth finish, and the leather isn't as thick. It's more of about the same thickness comparison with the leather on the retro. Now, if you were to ask me, you know, comparing the two, this one is pretty close to it in terms of the leather thickness, the height itself. You know, there is some different variations that you do see. You know, the toe box, the perforated leather is pretty close to it. The nylon tongue as well. And I did want to go in and point this one out here, which was very interesting, is that the 94 retro has a lot less padding on the sock liner area compared to the 2022 Lost and Found retros. It does have a lot more padding on the sock liner area, which you could see here. And in terms of the Nike swoosh itself, they're pretty identical or as close. Besides the star pattern on the sole itself and just little differences here and there in terms of the 94, there's nothing too much to complain or compare about the two, but you can see here side by side as I'm holding them in my hand and comparing them, you know, it's pretty identical, or comes pretty close to the 2022 retro. Here we are with a retro that people weren't really feeling. They just simply got it because it was a Chicago. These are the 2013 Air Jordan 1. This one did have the Jumpman Air tag, a leather tongue, a little bit more smaller, kind of like a mid-sized cut, but not really, like in between. And obviously the perforated leather toe box that you do see here. And I did want to go and point this one out there, that the 2013 retro, you have to simply just break those things in, but you know, this was really super uncomfortable. But besides that, there's really nothing much to talk or compare the two, you know, in terms of the different choices of the material and how the insoles on the 2013 was mainly all black with a red Jumpman. But besides that, again, it's all the small things that I could, you know, nitpick about this shoe to make him look really bad. But in general, you know, it's a Chicago, it's a retro, it's a Jordan 1. Again, there's nothing too much to say, you know, pinpoint about the sneaker that, again, goes side by side with it. Here it is, you guys see it side by side, the 2013 retro Jordan 1 alongside with the 2022 Lost and Found. All right, and here we are. It is the 2015 Chicago 1 side by side with the 2022 Chicago Lost and Found. Now, this is the one that I really wanted to compare the two. Now, I know the 94 and the original 85 pair those were going to be obviously had their little small little parts here and there that I could simply nitpick and complain. It was a 2015 that I was like, man, I really want to see how it lines up. Now, both these shoes are dead stock size 9, so it makes it a little bit easier to compare in terms of the length, the size, and everything. In terms of the padding on the sock liner, they're about the same. And in terms of the tongue, the padding on the 2015 dead definitely feels a lot better and thicker compared to the 2022 pair. In terms of the material choices on the sock liner, I gotta give it up to the 2022 pair. It feels a lot more softer, a lot more nice compared to the 2015 pair. Now, in terms of the Nike Air on the insoles, again, they went with the white base. The 2015 does have it in black, along with the 2022 does come in red. One thing I did also notice on the 2015 pair is that the inside that you see here is a color red, while the 2022 pair is a color white like the original pair. As for the laces, the 2015 pair does come with the red and white along with the black ones already laced up, and the 2022 pair does only come with the white and black, and it's already laced up inside the shoe. As for the Air Jordan logo, again, it does come embossed. Again, the 2015 has more of a shiny black finish, while the 2022 has more of that matte black finish. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the swoosh itself. They look pretty identical in terms of the size comparison. I also did want to mention that the red leather on the uppers on the 2015 does pop more compared to the 2022 pair. And in terms of the height difference, the Air Jordan 1 2015 pair outweighs the 2022 pair when claiming as a Air Jordan 1 high retro, which you guys can see here on video. But pretty much that's a comparison with the 85, the 94, the 2013, the 2015, and obviously the 2022 Lost and Found Chicago's. Now, I know there's some things that I didn't put or mention out there or going more in-depth details. I think either way, you guys simply know where I'm coming from. I'm still comparing, again, the whole lineup, the 85 original all the way up to this current year of 2022. But wrapping things up here, I got one simple question for you guys. You guys comment down below in the comment section. It is that if you could pick any of the Chicago's, any of this lineup, whether it's the 85, the original Chicago ones right here from 1985, or would you go with the 94, 95 retro one with the sick packaging box that they originally came out with in 94, or would you go with the 2013 pair with the Jumpman Air, or would you go with the 2015 with the extra laces with the black and red Nike box, or would you go with this year, the 2022 Lost and Found ones, the Chicago's, again with the sick packaging? Would you go with that one? Either or, whatever answer it is, there's no right or wrong. You guys let me know down below in the comment section which one would you guys pick. And that's pretty much it with the review of the 85, 94, 2013, 2015, and this year's 2022 Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found Chicago's. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing and liking this video. Again, comment down below in the comment section what you think. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. It's gonna be good. Yay!